So welcome back to the Stade Ami Giral here in Perpignan for the World Rugby Under-20s Championship. The match coming up is between Ireland and Scotland, who are playing off for the semi-finals of the 9th place in this year's championship. Well, alongside me, Scott Hastings, is former Scotland captain Rory Lawson. And Rory, this is a massive game for both teams. Whoever loses this one drops down to the relegation playoff match.
Yeah, Scott, this is a huge afternoon for both sides, who will be disappointed to find themselves in this position. But today is about parking that disappointment. Games come around so fast in the Under-20s World Championship, and the focus must be on today. A performance and doing whatever it takes to win this match.
So let's have a look at the teams. Head coach Noel McNamara for Ireland has made 5 personal changes to the Irish team for this crucial playoff match. Michael Sylvester and Harry Byrne return at fullback and fly half respectively, with the reject back line seeing centres James Hume and Tommy O'Brien moving to the wing. Sean O'Brien and Peter Sylvester pair up the new midfield combination. Joe Byrne joins front row colleagues George and Duggan Dermot Barron, whilst Malt and Jack Dunn are retained in the second row. Cian Doris captains the team for Scotland. Only 5 players remain for the starting 15, which faced England 4 days ago, with 10 personal changes and 2 positional moves. Paddy Dewhurst comes in at fullback to join Logan Trotter and Carl Rowe in the wings. Captain Stafford McDowell partners Cameron Hutchison in midfield, while there's a fresh halfback pairing with Callum McClellan and Charlie Chaplin. Devante Onajaffe is named at number 8, with flankers Rory Darge and Martin Hughes completes the Scotland lineup. So the 2 captains will be leading their teams onto the pitch. Stafford McDowell on the right, captain of Scotland, wearing the blue jersey. The green of Ireland, Cian Doris, one of the outstanding players in the pool stages for Ireland. And everything to play for as the teams enter onto the Stade Ami Giral. We've had a mix of sunshine and rain here today, but the pitch is good, the conditions overhead are lifting, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of action from these 2 old rivals.
Yeah, Scott, I believe we're in for a cracker. It'll be really interesting to see how both teams manage with the pressure on them. Ultimately, whoever loses today will find themselves in a position they've never found themselves in before. That relegation battle, the 11th, 12th place battle, and neither side wants to be in that position at the end of this 80 minutes.
First carry.
Every single collision.
Well, we're minutes away from this 9th place semi-final match between Ireland and Scotland down in Perpignan at the World Rugby Under-20 Championships. The teams have entered the arena, and Ireland and Scotland will now be singing their national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please now stand up for the national anthems. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever pour les hymnes nationaux. Tout d'abord, en l'honneur de l'équipe d'Irlande, in honor of the Irish team, Highlands Call.
The day has come, the hour, come the power and the glory. We have come to answer our country's call. From the 4 proud provinces of Ireland,
de l'équipe d'Écosse in honor of the Scottish team, Flower of Scotland.
So a quick check of the teams. Noel McNamara has made 5 personal changes to this Irish team. Michael Sylvester and Harry Byrne returned at full-back and fly-half respectively, with the Regent backline seeing centres James Hume and Tommy O'Brien moving to the wing. Sean O'Brien and Peter Sylvester pair up the new midfield combination. Joe Byrne joins front row colleagues Jordan Duggan and Dermot Barr, whilst Matthew Dalton and Jack Dunn are retained in the second row. Side is captained by Keelan Doris. Craig Redpath retains only 5 players from the team that lost to England 4 days ago. Paddy Dewhurst comes in at fullback to join Logan Trotter, and Carl Rowe on the wings. Captain Stafford McDowell partners Cameron Hutchison in midfield, while a fresh half-back pairing sees standoff Callum McClellan pair up with Charlie Chapman. Finlay Richardson, Robbie Smith and Sam Grahamslock complete the front row. Devante Onajaffe is named at number 8, while flankers Rory Darge and Martin Hughes complete the Scots lineup. It's a loud, shrill blast off the whistle from Egon Seconds from South Africa. And Ireland with a nice take and clearance kick through Harry Byrne. That will have done the youngster at fly half a lot of confidence in the opening play of this match.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want as a side receiving the kickoff. It was Harry Byrne, the fly half for Ireland, straight down his throat. There you go, back up to the halfway line, Scotland, take your line out.
Nice accuracy from Scotland. McLennan at fly half, looking to see if the ball can be moved wide, and slipping on the turf is Carl Rowe. Chapman goes in at scrum half for Scotland. Ball taken on by Hodgson. McClellan comes from a rugby league background. It's interesting to see how he is fitting into this union game, having signed for Edinburgh Rugby. Ireland looking good and strong in the defence. They came up as a unit there. Martin Hughes with the first touch of the ball, gains an extra couple of yards. Chapman just calls for his front row forward, Grahamslaw, to go around the other side, just protect the ball. Chapman then sizing for the box kick. Up it goes, Rowe will chase this one. Well taken though by Ireland. Strong from Michael Sylvester, who we saw in Georgia last year and has got real pace about his game. Oh, good hands here from Ireland as they move the ball wide. The left foot of Sean O'Brien finds some distance downfield. Paddy Dewhurst at fullback returns with interest. It's a good play from Ireland as they try to move the ball wide to the far channel there.
Yeah, net gain for Ireland. Their first opportunity to get ball in hand, and it was Joe Byrne in the midfield. The tight head prop looked like he was going to carry, gave the ball out the back, and that gave the space in the outside channel to Sean O'Brien on that left foot. A little bit of a net gain for Ireland. They'll be really keen off the back of that to be able to generate some pressure on Scotland in their first possession.
Good take then by Dunleavy, who leapt high in the line. Oh, a little break here. First of all from Tommy O'Brien, up and over the 22-metre line he goes. O'Sullivan goes in, feeds the destructive launch pad of Keelan Doris, who's bundled back in the tackle. Ball into Dermot Barron. Byrne looks for a little bit of space and offloads then onto his outside centre, Sean O'Brien. Another mistake here, a knock-on.
Advantage.
Against the tight head prop, Joe Byrne. So Scotland playing advantage here. Ball taken up. Option was to go wide, but decides to go to deck, and Chapman goes in, but no advantage accrued there. The first error there from Ireland.
It was a really good first attack from Ireland. Nice sleight of hand by Hugh O'Sullivan to find his winger Tommy O'Brien. The gap in the line out opened up and he was straight through it. Off the back of that, it was a big hit by Rory Darge, the open side flanker for Scotland, on the talisman of this Irish side, number 8, Keelan Doris. Here's the move off the line out. Nice little backdoor pass from O'Sullivan.
Well, these two teams have met each other in the World Rugby Under-20 Championship on 6 occasions. Ireland actually lead by 5 points to 1, and these two teams met in the Six Nations when Scotland were beaten by 25 points to 30. So we are expecting a close match between these two old rivals. Scotland trying to probe down that blind side. Chapman goes in. Chapman, boot to ball once again. Under it is the scrum half O'Sullivan, but he's well tackled into the ground by Rowe. Scotland looking to try and get the ball back, but Ireland have guarded that one well. Matthew Agnew with the initial surge up to that 10-metre line. Harry Byrne manages to get the offload to Dalton. Very even so far, and both defences on top at this moment in time as they try and search, and then the box kick charged down there by Sekiro Hodgson, but adjudged to have been offside.
That was a tight call there from Egan Seconds, the referee, judging that Jamie Hodgson, Scotland's second rower, just a little bit offside, but you touched on it, Scott, a little bit of chess early doors. Both sides just looking to find that field position. Oof, I think that was a little bit harsh. Just, he looked to be onside there, maybe his back foot just on the offside line there.
It's Ireland's gain, however, and Harry Byrne's found a good touch.
Can move across a bit.
Let's look at Dermot Barron then, this Gary Owen and Munster hooker.
There where Green is, perfect there.
Barron. Ireland have cut their line out.
Hold on.
5 up.
You need to come closer, that's your mark.
Keelan Doris
now you
in
open
the scrum
up and
half position, so you can expect some action here from Ireland off this set piece. Throws over Cooked is picked up by Robbie Smith of Scotland now. Numbers over wide for Scotland if they can get it through the hands here. Hutchison, he's got some space outside the row, back into Hutchison. Good ground being made. And now McClellan, well, it looks slightly high there. Advantage now being played, so free ball for Scotland to counter-attack once again through Robbie Smith, who started the movement with the overthrow from Ireland. McDowell kicks high, Rowe on the chase, but the kick's too much, in a tackle and a penalty coming for Scotland after a high tackle in midfield.
Yeah, here's the high tackle here. Jack Dunn, the big second rower, not dropping the hips on Callum McClellan. Easy penalty for Egan Seconds to give there. But really nice attacking play by Scotland. It came off the Ireland line out, actually. Dermot Barron missing his man. Robbie Smith, the beneficiary at the back in the number 2 jersey of Scotland, and he did really well to get his eyes up, give the pass out, and it got Scotland onto the attack down that right-hand flank. Didn't come to anything on that occasion with regards to getting a try, But this is important for Scotland to be able to get on the scoreboard first up, and Charlie Chapman, the man in charge.
Well, Chapman has had some good fortune with the boot. Scotland beaten in the opening game by 26 points to 27. 3 penalties and a conversion and a try for young Chapman. 16 points, and then 2 penalties and a conversion in the match against Argentina. So Chapman for the opening penalty and 3 points to give the lead to Scotland, and it's good. And young Charlie Chapman from Hartbury College in Gloucester Rugby slots one across the bar and between the posts. 3-0 to Scotland.
Yeah, Scott, we've touched on it, a little bit of a game of chess, but
keep it
both
clear
sides
again for you.
clearly looking to play.
100%.
It's one of
You
the
just stay
things
on
I
that
love
block
about this tournament. Free-flowing rugby, attacking mindset, and the willingness to go out and express yourself.
Ono Jaffe takes the ball. Good tackle was made by the open side, Matthew Agnew. He was up quickly on Ono Jaffe. Now taking ball on Jamie Hodgson and Chapman once again. Oh, and that's a knock for Carl Rowe. Ball bounces though for James Hume. High tackle once again coming in from Smith.
Fantastic kick by Chapman, and a really good contest in the air between James Hume and Kyle Rowe. Kyle Rowe came off a little bit worse. He's hobbling back towards the touchline, but looks to be okay.
Harry Byrne looking for some field position. End over end kick. It's a beauty down into Scotland territory.
Strikes a nice ball, doesn't he? Big, powerful boy in the fly half jersey.
Okay.
There's
Good.
a
Now
high
you gotta keep
tackle
them
that
there.
led
I
to
need
the
that gap
penalty.
open,
Robbie
please.
Smith, proper mongrel
I'll
at
get it
hooker for
you. You
Scotland.
just make sure you stay on your line.
So conversation between Jordan Duggan and his hooker, Dermot Barron. So once again, Ireland cut the line out. First one was overthrown. This one a little bit more accurate here as Doris gets his mitts on it, and Ireland start to drive for the line. The breakaway by Dunleavy. Good play here. Agnew stays strong. Brought down by Rory Darge. Ireland looking to try and split the Scotland defence. Dalton makes good ground. Next carry comes in from Barron. Real pressure coming on for the Scots as the first real incursion for Ireland takes them to within 5 metres off the line. Ball through the hand. Good angle here for Ireland to attack. Once again, O'Sullivan into the range with Dunleavy doing the carrying duties. And Ireland only metres short. They're lining up men outside. There was a show and a go there. And Ireland retaining the possession. This is the 9th phase of possession. They're going for the line. It's short, says referee seconds.
Get your hands out. Advantage.
And an offside comes in against Scotland. Looked like Jamie Hodgson came in from an offside. Oh, the gap opens up and the try has been scored by Harry Byrne. A water of poss by Ireland.
Immediate bounce back from Ireland, Scott. And Route 1 direct stuff, which is really effective. This is the finish here by Harry Byrne, who does enough to be able to wriggle over just straight up, and he identifies Kyle Rowe, the left winger, having to come into that third defender position. Too powerful for Rowe on that occasion, and he gets over for a score, but it was just direct play. Big ball carriers, Dunleavy in the 6th jersey, Agnew in 7, Doris in 8, some of his front 5 guys, and Harry Byrne it is who makes the penalty advantage count, and he'll now look to nudge over the added 2 points.
Well, the 19-year-old's got an older brother, Ross Byrne of Leinster, and he's currently out on tour with the Ireland team, the full Ireland team out, taking on Australia in the 3-test series over there. Ireland went down to Australia last Saturday. Now, Ireland-Scotland, and it's a good kick by Harry Byrne, who converts his try. Delight there from the subs bench. Ireland 7, Scotland 3. 12 minutes just coming up on the clock. Concern there for Scotland.
Touch ball, play on.
Hughes is off and has been replaced by Guy Graham. So what's Scotland's response going to be? Ball taken on. And the first look at how Guy Graham then hit that line. Ball coming back a little bit slowly. McClellan has a little look. He showed the ball inside to Finlay Richardson. Sykes. And then McDowell once again onto Guy Graham, who signed a 2-year contract with the Newcastle Falcons last month. Oh, McDowell, he was trying to get on the outside and release the ball to Hutchison on his outside, but Scotland being well tested here as Ian Doris comes in to try and make the tackle. Chapman at the base. McClellan just a little bit flat as Dewhurst sort of took man and ball there. But that green machine, that line of defence coming up well for Ireland.
Yeah, tight,
Tackle.
but the good line speed, good pressure, staying connected, building pressure on Scotland's attack.
McClellan had to scoot that one off his bootlaces. Chapman goes in. McDowell gets it to Hutchison. Logan Trotter on the far wing, cries a forward pass from a few Irish fans in the stadium. Loose ball, McClellan has it covered like a good fielder in the cricket match, covering for the mistake. McClellan, he drops back into the pocket, but McDowell, the Scotland captain, his left foot trying to get a little bit of prominence and territory. But Ireland coming away with the counter-attack, the left wing, Tommy O'Brien fielding the ball well.
Keep moving back,
midfield, just trying to relieve some of this pressure, and eventually Harry Byrne, this time a spiral kick, and Paddy Dewhurst has it covered at fullback. Dewhurst tries to create the 2-on-1 down this left flank, and Dewhurst bundled into the touch. And a ball taken on there by Marshall Sykes. Oh, it was a sloppy pass in midfield, and McDowell goes down on the ball. Scotland on the halfway line. Plenty of action in their attack, but not much penetration, I'm afraid. McClellan, well, it ricocheted off a teammate, and just a little bit sloppy there from Scotland.
Yeah, a lot of inaccuracy in Scotland's attack so far, Scott. There's whether it's just the passes, the collision, the accuracy of the clean out, they're getting slow ball a lot of the time. Ireland's defence on top, they're staying connected, they're building, they're working as a defensive side, and Scotland need to be more accurate to put this Irish side under pressure. Big ball carriers have to try and get that gain line off first, second phase, because after that it's very difficult to generate quick ball off slow ball. Key men, Devante Onajaffe, one of them, Stafford McDowell in the midfield. They're the key guys for this go forward of the Scotland side. But so far, Ireland looking the more competent of the two sides.
Hugh O'Sullivan feeds the ball.
Keep it up.
Sullivan has Harry Byrne. Missed pass onto Sylvester. He's got a bit of pace about him.
Advantage for high tackle.
High tackle comes in from Carl Rowe, the left winger. Such a feature of this under-20s championship, Rory, that anybody who goes high sees the sanction of the referee's whistle.
Yeah, it's rugby in general, isn't it? And I think that one there, Kyle Rowe reaching out, managed to get a hold of the shoulder of Michael Sylvester's jersey, but it's still deemed high. Anything in and around the neck or neck height has got to be below chest height to be on the safe side of the law.
Yeah. 100%.
Keelan Doris then decided to tell Harry Byrne to go and kick for the corner. He fancies keeping the pressure on the Scotland team. Declined to take the penalty option there.
Same thing in front, Jonathan.
Dermot Barron. Now Hooker trying to find his big man, but jumping up was Scotland. Marshall Sykes getting ahead of the ball there. The knock-on that came in for Scotland, costing them territory and forcing the unforced error, I should say, into the hands of Ireland. And Ireland got a great attacking scrum here.
You see the reaction of the Irish players on field. It was Sykes with a great steal from the Irish line-out initially, but a good tackle, dislodging the ball, and it was the 8 Irish substitutes in the dead ball area warming up at the moment, cheering on their 15 men who are in the green on field at the moment. Really fantastic attacking opportunity. Set scrum.
So far so good, space is good.
Maybe offside line green.
These are key moments, Scott, for both captains, just pulling their team together. There's Brian Redpath, the head coach of Scotland. He'll be a little bit disappointed with the first 17 minutes of this game so far. Just inaccuracies that have let his side down and have them trailing by 4 points.
Just a wee bit of attention to one of the Scottish players, just getting some attention for some injury. Paul O'Connell in the middle, sitting alongside Irish head coach Noel McNamara.
What a guy he is to have in and around your squad. It's Greg Laidlaw's here for the week with Scotland under-20s as well too. A current leader and a former leader of their countries. No better people to be around these young men.
Hugh Sullivan feeds this scrum. Interesting backs line-up here for Ireland, as coming in off that right wing is James Hume. Hume looking to get involved in the action. This is Hume now, he came in off the right. Oh, the ball was recycled well. And an injury to Hume, who took that ball in at such a good angle, and Ireland created a real opportunity there and spilt ball.
Yeah, and there's that man in picture there, Jordan Levy, who came round on the second phase. It all started off there, just losing his feet a little bit. James Hume, Callum McLennan caught quite high in the tackle, but is there Dunleavy just juggling the ball a little bit, losing it in contact, and Scotland breathe again.
That was just a slip into the tackle, so.
We just watch the hit chase in this one.
Okay, no problem.
You actually see out the tackle there. Both James Hume, the carrier, and then Callum McClelland. I don't know if Chapman managed to get a little tap tackle on Hume, but McClelland certainly wasn't ready for that tackle earlier. And you can actually hear Egon Seconds, the referee, just saying it was a loss of balance. The tackle wasn't ready. It's a rugby collision. It was play on.
We'll cover as much as we
Jack
can.
Dunn knocking the ball there, and as we come into the end of the first quarter, it's certainly been Ireland with the majority of the territory, leading by one converted try to the solitary penalty from Scotland. 7 points to 3 it remains. Guy Graham there with the distinctive head cap for Scotland. Just still running repairs going to James Hume from Ulster. Hume just down the bottom left-hand side of your picture. So Hume restored to the right wing. Scotland with the put in right under their own posts.
Let's go, Joey. Time. I'm with you.
Well, I mentioned earlier on that they've played each other 6 times, and Ireland lead by 5-1 in this under-20s championship. But if you look at the record,
we'll deal with it, we'll
across
fix it.
6 nations as well, they've played each other on 18 occasions. Ireland have won 14. They've only lost 4, and a telling factor is they've scored 57 tries to 32 from Scotland. So certainly the advantage here at the moment very much in Ireland's hands.
Very much so, Scott. I was at Donnybrook for the under-20 Six Nations game, and it was a tight contest played in miserable conditions.
I was going to say, it's a bit colder than
it's
this.
Slightly nicer here this afternoon, and a great opportunity for the players to get ball in hand.
Chapman feeds the scrum. Ona Jaffe gains the extra few metres. Scotland have to go to deck.
The ball is there.
Exit strategy so key.
He has no effect on that ball.
For Scotland as Chapman comes, gets the ball
Use it now.
back, and he'll kick high and he kicks out. So good clearance there from young Chapman. He's impressed me throughout this tournament so far.
Yeah, that's another good kick from Chapman. His first box kick was a little bit too long and gave the Irish counter-attack a lot more time. That one there, together with his two previous ones, much better, and it sets up a good defensive set here for Scotland. Brian Redpath, just yesterday in his press conference, suggested this area, the 5-man line-out, is one that they have to defend first phase. And the 5+1, you see Doris in the channel there.
More. Use it wide.
Cut line out once again from Ireland, but at the back, Matthew Agnew goes in. There he is holding the ball, the Dayglow boots. This is a good drive from Ireland, and Scotland are absolutely splintering. Richardson makes a nuisance of himself, but again, the extra few yards gets front foot football onto the Irish. Duggan, the loose head. And now the attack, the little dink kick. Oh, it's a free run to the try line, and the centre, Peter Sylvester. What a beautifully crafted try from the midfield. The dink kick by Harry Byrne. Peter Sylvester saw that the Scotland team were flat on defence, and Ireland get their second try of this game.
And a defensive maul for Scotland there, but Ireland just generated the front foot ball. But watch this from Harry Byrne in the number 10 jersey, going sideways. Look at that for a touch. Sensational weight on the kick off the right side of the boot. Peter Sylvester read his fly half, straight through and under the sticks. Great score again by Ireland.
So Ireland convert their second try through Harry Byrne, and it's a strong looking lead for the Irish now. Just after 22 minutes on the clock, it's Ireland 14, Scotland 3.
And just really clinical stuff again, Scott. Attacking opportunity in the 22. They manipulated the defence with the maul, carried once out of that maul, brought the defenders all up in one line, saw the space was in behind, and boy did they take that opportunity.
Inside. That's inside.
So Ireland take the ball from the kickoff.
No.
Carried by their captain, Caelan Doris, such an influential member of his pack and giving him such leadership. Hugh O'Sullivan has to go in to dig deep. Sullivan, oh, he made a little bit of a guddle on that at the bottom. Scotland flood the contact, trying to get the counter up, but it's Ireland who secured the ball there. They've done really well, Ireland, to mop up the error from O'Sullivan. Then Levy feeds the pod as Duggan tries to get an extra few centimetres on the ground.
Holding on. Okay.
There you go, Ireland. It all started scrappy ruck. The ball was called out by referee, but you see Ona Jaffe there over the top of Jordan Duggan, who got himself a little bit isolated from his support men. Straight over the top of the ball. Ona Jaffe strong as an ox over the top of it. Easy penalty for Egan Seconds to give, and finally an attacking opportunity for Scotland, one that Brian Redpath will be very, very keen on his side building on. It's almost no doubt they'll go for that corner. They've backed their maul all tournament so far.
Yeah, there's one area that Scotland have been operating well. It's been from the driving line out. And whilst it's a little bit of an Achilles heel, that whilst it's been successful, they've not been able to put points on the board from the driving maul. Caelan Doris just getting some treatment here, and Scotland will just work out the logistics of how they manage this next possession. Another wee look here as Duggan took the ball on the ground, gained an extra few yards, and you said Devante Ovenjavi right over the top of the ball.
And in rugby, you're taught to fight for that extra yard. Jordan Duggett did it there, but actually it got him a yard away from his support, and that allowed Ona Jaffe to get over the top of it. Good stuff from that Scotland number 8.
Just the front decks, just watch your defence on it. Perfect.
Robbie Smith from the Ayr club down southwest Scotland also came through the ranks at Newton Stewart. The throw is good and accurate now. Can Scotland set up the drive? Numbers are there, they're going for the drive, Scotland, and it's been brought down. Ball at the back. Dars tries to go for the pick and go and supports Ofen Jaffe, who's done really well. Over he goes for the line. He's just held meters short. Another dig round the corner goes Scotland, and it's a try for Scotland. Richardson, Finlay Richardson, and patience from Scotland, and they've driven well off that liner, and they've got themselves back into this game.
They have indeed. Scotland actually started off what looked like a 10-man line out, but look at the fight of Ona Jaffe. He won his side the penalty to get them into this position. And there's the man, Finlay Richardson, tight head prop. This is Ona Jaffe's drive, but watch Finlay Richardson's height. Picks off the back of this maul. Body height so low, secondary drive, gets through the tackler, over the line, and he is absolutely delighted.
Let's drop the body height there, lads.
Chapman from just inside that 22-metre line and the 15-yard line. So he's got the angle cut, he's got the visualisation. Chapman for the 2 points, a little stab and go. The arms go aloft from the touch judges, and Scotland are within 4 points of Ireland. Ireland leading by 14 points to 10 with 25 minutes on the clock.
We've got a cracker on our hands, haven't we, Scotty? 25 minutes in. Both sides looking to play. Both attacks ultimately on top now. As it started, it was Ireland's defence. That time there, Scotland build pressure and come away with that 7 points. So important.
Ball goes up by Kyle Rowe. He knocks it on. How often do we see that in the game of rugby?
Knock on by Blue.
A try and score at one end. The mistake from the kickoff, and it just hands possession straight back to the Irish.
Yeah, that one there, I'm going to give credit to Harry Byrne in the number 10 jersey of Ireland, though. What a beautiful kickoff, putting Kyle Rowe under pressure, allowing his right winger James Hume to get the momentum going into that row. Yeah. It's always difficult waiting underneath that kickoff. Just knocked on. So credit to Harry Byrne.
A little bit of concern there from Scotland, and it's Marshall Sykes in the second row just seeking some attention.
Yeah,
restored though, and that'll be Ireland's put in. Again, flat alignment from the Irish backs. You can just see there, the left of your picture. Packs engaged then.
Hey, come on, boys! Let's walk in here, boys.
On this near side, wearing the tight head number 3 jersey, Joe Byrne of Dublin University and Leinster. He's up against Sam Grahamslaw of the Leicester Tigers.
Let's keep that standard.
Real key area here, the set piece. It's been pretty even, Stephen, so far.
Yeah, it really has. Interesting at scrum time, neither side getting the upper hand. What is so important, though, is having the put in. It means that you know when the ball's coming in. All 8 men can scrummage, whereas defensively you've got your blind side and open side flanker will lift their head a little bit. Front 5 just have to put in so much work for Scotland here.
That's a great shot, isn't it, of the scrum. It's solid. Now the platform flat to the gain line. Ireland then attack. They put it through wide hands to Tony O'Brien. O'Brien, he's brought down by Logan Trotter. Good movement of the ball there by this Irish team. Plenty of confidence surging through their veins. Keelan Doris, the captain. Once again, Harry Byrne, but that was a low sloping ball, and the ball kicked through there by Kyle Rowe. He's got a second touch, he's got a third touch. And Kyle Rowe chased by Tommy O'Brien. Tommy O'Brien goes down on the ball, and well, the 2 left wingers up against each other, but Tommy O'Brien's won that one for Ireland, and Ireland have got numbers back well as Harry Byrne then spots a bit of space because Kyle Rowe was missing down Scotland's left flank. So intelligent play there by the young fly half from Ireland.
I tell you what, Marshall Sykes in the number 4 jersey for Scotland is relieved off the back of that. He had James Hume, the Irish right winger, bearing down on it, and he was delighted to see it go into touch. But it all came off Ireland inaccuracies. They were 10 metres out from the line. The ball went to ground. Kyle Rowe managed to get boot to ball 3 or 4 times, but Scotland potentially over-chased on that one. Harry Byrne identified space and has managed to get his side back up into Scotland's half.
So Scotland, having booted the ball upfield, have to start afresh from the bottom. Sykes in the second row for Scotland, left high there. Scotland trying to just gain the extra few yards. This play by Matthew Agnew. He came in from an offside position. There he is, left of your picture of the yellow boots.
It's just an area whereby the Irish coaches will be frustrated by that, because ultimately there's no threat up there from Scotland. They were shaping in the maul, were likely to probably box kick off the back of it. And you just up there, it is in from the side. It was the skipper, Keelan Doris, in from the side, gives Scotland the opportunity to clear from inside their 22 up to the halfway line, and they get another line-out opportunity. You see there, a lot of rugby played in the pitch, but at the same time, the number that stands out, 31% of it inside Scotland's 22.
10 minutes to go till half-time. By Sykes in the middle.
Use it once!
Scotland looking to drive once again.
Use it now! Going
Strengths, but Ireland have combated that one well as McClellan seizes up the opportunity and trying to release Logan Trotter out the wide angle. Trotter punches the ball ahead. Sean O'Brien goes back. Trotter had real gas there as Sean O'Brien went down on the ball.
Yeah.
There might have been a hint of a push on Logan Trotter by Sean O'Brien, but once again, Ireland have got back in numbers.
Get back.
Ireland quite happy, just trying to take ball away. Hugh O'Sullivan with the box kick and finds a good range, but once again, Ireland getting back and covering each other.
Yeah, good attack by Scotland, well covered by the Clontarf man in the number 13 jersey, Sean O'Brien. But it all came off the line-out. Really good, solid line-out again. Marshall Sykes riding high.
We can't have a
look at this. Scotland managed to get into the wide channel, row out the back, finds his man Trotter, who sees a space in behind, manipulated the defence, and he absolutely flew by Sean O'Brien. Just didn't quite manage to get his right boot to the ball on this occasion there. Just came off the shin. O'Brien manages to gather it.
Scotland once again, their go-to man in the middle. Sykes leaps high and the drive is on. Robbie Smith, the set barrel of a hooker. Going down the blind side on a Jaffe, rejoins and gets the drive on.
Use it once!
Chapman will have to play this ball. McClellan, Hutchison overhead pass there. Now Rowe's got a bit of space here, but his space was clamped down by fullback Michael Sylvester, but Scotland have done well to try and keep ball in hand. Dewhurst has to go to deck on that 22. Oh, the gap is spotted there by Smith. Smith, well, was that a no-arms tackle?
Advantage.
McClellan seizes the opportunity. Oh, Chapman inside. It's Richardson for a second. And Scotland take the lead in this opening half hour.
Fantastic rugby again. Scotland capitalising. It's that man again, Finlay Richardson. How good a game's he having? Look at that. His front row man there, Robbie Smith, identifying the gaps in the Irish defence. McClellan lifts his head, gets an offload inside, doesn't quite go to the hands of Chapman, but there's Richardson sniffing out the try line again, and over he goes to give Scotland a lead.
Well, McClellan did well there, isn't he? We know what he can do.
Check?
And Finlay Richardson, who scored 2 tries against England in the Six Nations, has got 2 tries against Ireland in the World Rugby Under-20s Championship. Now, there's a live blast here from Egon Seconds for a no-arm tackle. Hugh O'Sullivan's attempt on Robbie Smith as Robbie Smith hit the Irish line. Let's have a wee look.
Yeah, it's interesting. You heard TMO Philippe
that screen is a little bit
saying it's more. He thinks it might be more than just a penalty, so that's why it stopped at this stage.
That's number 9.
Well, Rory, it looks as though there's not really an attempt at a tackle there. You've got to use your arms.
Okay.
It's really poor technique
Those
from
are
Hugh
all
O'Sullivan.
the angles,
He
Eagle.
obviously drops
Okay,
his
Philippe.
hips, but he drops his head as well,
see
loses sight of
A no
Robbie
arms
Smith
tackle
charging
to the
through.
joint of the blue player by number 9, green. I'm thinking yellow card to 9. And we're standing with the try anyway.
Yes, correct, Egan.
Number 9, please. It's a dangerous tackle with no arms. It's a yellow card. It's dangerous.
So nice and clear. Egon seconds there, indicating to Ireland's scrum half, Hugh O'Sullivan, that it was a no arms and dangerous tackle. So he'll have 10 minutes in the sin bin, and his opposite number, Charlie Chapman, meanwhile, with a chance to extend Scotland's lead. Chapman, straight through the sticks it goes, and well, it's Scotland now leading by 17 points to 14.
And here we go again, Scotty. Finlay Richardson will never grow tired of watching that one again and again. His second of the afternoon. McClellan's pass didn't quite go to where he intended it to in the shape of Charlie Chapman, but Finlay Richardson, they're like an open side flanker on a good support line, gobbling it up.
High kickoff from Ireland. Well, taken on the far side by Logan Trotter, and Chapman back in there. Ball and dipping pass was picked up by Rory Darge.
No.
So the box kick is traced by Trotter, but the knock-on from Michael Sylvester
advantage.
picked up by Gary Graham, and there was a flat pass onto a Jaffe,
knock-on was
opportunity
a green.
lost, but the knock-on
Second one.
from Michael Sylvester picked up by referee Seconds.
Yeah, the advantage wasn't over from the initial knock-on. I think it was fullback Michael Sylvester. Once again, from the box kick from Chapman. Trotter doing enough to be able to put him off.
Let's go, okay.
But I tell you, Charlie Chapman has really grown into this game. He had a couple of passes. That one there again go a little bit low. Occasionally on his right hand, he's just stopping on his pass and is dropping, but his kicking game's been very good. He's been first class off the tee so far. And he's developing into this game. And let's not forget, for the next 8 minutes, he doesn't have an opposite man in the shape of Hugh O'Sullivan, who's still in the sin bin.
Well, Ireland went ahead after 20 minutes by 14 points to 3, but it's Scotland who've got themselves back into the game, and well, one of the influencers is certainly that man carrying there, Devante Onajaffe, and well, there's men out wide here. Logan Trotter comes across from the wing, another high tackle, this time Sean O'Brien on Logan Trotter, so advantage being played, and the little dink kick over the top, chased by McDowell. And Scotland just having momentum in the closing minutes of this half. What would you do here, Rory? Would you go for the penalty on offer?
High tackle.
Interesting decision. I think it's not an easy penalty at goal, this one, and it looks like McClelland is grabbing a hold of it and shaping straight for the corner. Scotland, it was interesting, Scott, the try that was Finlay Richardson's first try came from about a 10-man line-out, which involved McDowell and it involved Cammy Hutchison, the two centres. That penalty against Sean O'Brien for the seatbelt tackle. They're going for the same setup again by the looks of things.
Yeah, interesting that the captain of Scotland, Stafford McDowell, has gone to the front of this line-out. On a Jaffe at the front, it's hit Sykes once again in the middle. He's caught the ball well. The link play between Hooker, Smith and Sykes has been accurate, and Scotland once again driving for the line.
11 Scots in that maul, Scott.
This could be a crucial part of the game. The ball's at the back. Chapman to McClellan. They're trying to put width in it. The overhead pass on to Trotter, and Trotter trots in the wing for Scotland's third try.
And we're starting to see a clinical Scotland here. Again, the opportunity. I thought for all money Ireland would have defensive. They would have the upper hand defensively because there were only 4 backs out in that back line for Scotland, with Hutchison and McDowell in the forwards. But look at the ball there, McClelland. Rowe lifts his head, and he finds his winger on the outside trotter to dive in the corner, and it's 2 tries in the space of 3 minutes for Scotland. They stretch their lead further.
Good execution with the overhead pass from Hutchison. And it was Tommy O'Brien for Ireland. He had to come in, created the overlap. And Chapman with 2 penalties and a conversion, looking to convert the try of Logan Trotter. Paul O'Connell assiduously taking his notes there for the half-time talk. That'll be coming up. But Chapman from wide out. Looking good. It's over. 3 converted tries and a penalty. And Brian Redpath will take one look at the scoreboard and see that Scotland are ahead by 24 points to 14.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with the reaction of his players after being under pressure in the first 10 to 15 minutes. They really have brought this game right into their own hands in the second part of this second half.
Ono Jaffe. Big run by the number 8 for Scotland. Sykes, who's impressed throughout this match with his takes in the line-out, but once again Scotland holding on to the ball and being penalised. And Ireland have a decision here. Do they go for the corner and try and nick a try back before half-time?
If they do so, they'll have to do it without their scrum half, so they'd definitely be back in their maul.
Shot.
They're going for the shot at goal. Harry Byrne signalling, but it's exactly what they would have liked off the back of it. You saw Sykes on the carry again, but over the top of it straight away, Matthew Agnew, and it was Scottish props, Sam Grahamslaw and Finlay Richardson, not quite accurate enough on the scavenger. Agnew stayed strong over the top of it and won his side a really valuable penalty.
Well, it's been a fascinating half, hasn't it, with Ireland looking good in the first 20 minutes, going 14 points to 3 ahead. Scotland responded, stretched that scoreline to 24 points to 14. 3 tries to the good now. 3 points on offer here for Harry Byrne to close out the first half and reduce the gap to a single score. Yeah, it's a good kick by Ireland's Harry Byrne. Well, what a fascinating game we've got here. 3 tries for Scotland, a penalty and 3 conversions to 2 converted tries and a penalty. Confirmation then of the half-time score sees Ireland 17, Scotland 24.
Voilà, c'est la pause. C'est la pause, les amis, après ces 40 premières minutes de match en faveur des Écossais. 24 points marqués par les Écossais, 17 pour l'Irlande. C'est le score à la pause, 17-24. Score at half-time, 5-17, Scotland.
Get your hands out! Advantage, advantage, blue, green. Blue offside. Blue offside. Offside. Get out. They got less. More! Advantage. Short! 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 Watch out the no, just advantage. Advantage to blue. Advantage over. Watch out the no, just advantage. Advantage to blue. Watch out the no, just advantage. Advantage to blue. Advantage over. He's through the middle, it's fine there. Use it now. Watch out the no, just advantage. Advantage to blue. Advantage over. Watch out the no, just yeah. Okay.
Those are all.
Tackle with no arms. It's a yellow card. It's dangerous. Time back on.
Les équipes qui sont affrontées à l'occasion de cette journée. Voilà les militants, les entourages. C'est peut-être l'occasion pour vous de retrouver tous les produits officiels du championnat du monde des moins de 20 ans et de la Fédération française de rugby dans la boutique officielle située à l'entrée du stade, on vous le rappelle, parce que vivre ce championnat du monde des moins de 20 ans, c'est aussi certainement pour vous repartir avec un petit souvenir de couleur de celui-ci, donc n'hésitez pas, la boutique vous attend.
So welcome back to the World Rugby Under-20 Championships. This is the 9th place semi-final playoff match between Ireland and Scotland. Half-time here at the Stade Ami Giral in Perpignan. Saw Scotland go into the sheds at half-time by 24 points to 17. So this game in the balance for the next 40 minutes.
You guys ready?
Ireland in their traditional green strips, Scotland to the left of your picture in blue. And the kickoff with Harry Byrne is high and taken by Sykes for Scotland, who rampages up towards the halfway line. Chapman at scrum half for Scotland finds Rory Darge. Darge on the charge.
No, you missed it, Green.
Ball back to McClellan. McClellan, well, it's skewed off his foot a wee bit to Logan Trotter. Trotter, it ricochets back at the hands of Scotland's captain, McDowell. And then Gary Graham in support, and Graham, who came on from Martin Hughes, who went off with a head knock in the first half. Chapman, plenty of height on that ball, chased once again by Trotter, but Harry Byrne had got back to save the day for Ireland. Michael Sylvester goes in at scrum half, hands the ball to Matthew Dalton. Dalton places the ball back.
Taken back.
Ball's been taken back, so it can't be put out of play straight away. So the ball picked up by McClellan, who feeds Paddy Dewhurst. Dewhurst, who has good feet, and we've not seen an awful lot from the Scotland fullback, but that's the halfway line. McClellan. Rush defence came up in the outside channel from Sean O'Brien for Ireland, and then Captain Fantastic Caelan Doris for Ireland. Scotland just staying patient at this moment in time.
Yeah, patience so important. They initially had a good exit. Now they'll just look to build territory and possession. No doubt Chapman, so important to this Scotland attack. Another box kick coming.
Chapman, you saw the accuracy there, head down. Rowe chases, but it's well taken on that far side, and O'Brien comes away with it. And while he's shown a clean pair of heels, it's actually Sylvester. Sylvester with plenty of gas from the full-back position. And Paddy Dewhurst back to McClellan. McClellan, a little bit of pressure there, but what a play there by Michael Sylvester, who we first saw playing for Ireland in these under-20s championships out in Georgia last year, and he really caught the eye.
Brilliant stuff. He had no right there. He was the guy that took the Charlie Chapman box kick, ran it back, made 50 metres, kicked it in field, chased it down, and eventually put Callum McClelland under pressure and won his side a huge amount of territory there.
In the vicinity of the line, not just, sorry boys.
Tommy O'Brien just receiving some treatment, the left winger from UCD and Leinster. He is a regular in the A team and captain in the Six Nations, and he missed last year because of injury, but he is a real threat and just carrying a knock to his shoulder there. Hugh O'Sullivan, who was red carded in the match earlier on in the match, is back on. Interesting that he was on with 3 seconds to still go. Ball thrown to the back, but it's overthrown and picked up by Robbie Smith. Scotland go wide again. This is Hutchison. Feeds out to Rowe. Rowe down that left wing. He's got real gas, Rowe, but he's just put a foot in touch. And Scotland have got pace on each wing, and Carl Rowe and Logan Trotter, but on that occasion it was the 1 foot out the far touchline that was picked up by the touch.
I need you on the line, please.
It was good opportunity again, Kyle Rowe. But Robbie Smith, he's been the beneficiary of a couple of Irish overthrows, but he's so quick to pick his head up, get the ball out into that back line and allow his quick men to get on the ball.
Dermot Barron finds Agnew in the line out, and then once again Sylvester putting pace on it. O'Brien on his inside angle, and the knock on there from scrum half O'Sullivan. So Scotland the beneficiary of another error from Ireland. Chapman at the base, box kick.
Advantage over.
Chased by Dewhurst, but it's well taken by Sylvester. O'Sullivan. Joseph Dunleavy with plenty of intent there, and then Harry Byrne just finds the fullback Dewhurst. Dewhurst, he had a call from Trotter, held up in the tackle by Dalton. Chapman across there, this busy scrum half for Scotland, who's having real effect in this game.
Leave it. Just watch there, watch there. Okay. Ball's out.
Hodgson goes in to protect ball. Another box kick from Scotland's scrum half, and rose up with a tackle on Harry Byrne, Ireland's fly half. Plenty of action in the opening few minutes here of this second half.
It's a proper game of chess, Scott. Everyone just looking for that field position, waiting for an opportunity.
This time Tommy O'Brien. Well, that's a different kick, well taken on the far side there by James Hume, and Hume gets the ball back, but it was adjudged to be knocked on.
Knocked on by Green.
Again, both defences up on top in this opening few minutes of the second half.
Now, Tommy O'Brien on this left wing may claim tonight over a glass of lemonade that he meant that one to James Hume, but I'm not altogether sure.
Yeah, on the knock on.
You see, this is the end of it. This is Hume rising above, did well initially to claim it, and then judged to have knocked it on off the back of it. And there's Rowe on the outside break, just a toe in touch there. But both sides looking to attack. But Scott, I always find it fascinating watching the first few minutes after half-time. For Scotland, they would have wished that half-time was never going to come. They had a lot of momentum, albeit Ireland finished the half with a penalty. But clear messages coming out in the actions of both sides. Territory is so important. Get the ball down into the opposition half. It's a one-score game. Next score is important, and just try to build pressure.
So this 9th place semi-final was between Ireland and Scotland. The loser of this meets the loser of Japan, Georgia. Such is the significance that if you end up down in that bottom match, you might be relegated from the World Rugby Under-20s Championship. McClellan, he was slightly flat there as Hutchison showed he's strong in the tackle, but so Sean O'Brien, his opposite number. The Scotsman pumps his legs. Chapman, he guddled at the bottom, he managed to mop it up, and Scotland trying to secure the ball at the base. Hodgson has to go in, he picks and drives, but Doris is right over the top of the ball. Chapman back on his feet to McClellan. McClellan to Onojaffe. Tackled by O'Sullivan and Sean O'Brien in the centre.
No.
Now there's an overlap here as McClellan sees half a gap in front of him. Not held in the tackle.
play on.
Hutchison puts the boot in and Rowe goes for the corner. I think Rowe's going to be in here. Whoa!
Time off.
Very close. It was Dewhurst, in fact, up that left
same
hand
thing as Suez.
side.
Came
But,
off blue last. In goal, 22.
yeah, knocked in goal at the far end.
22.
But Paddy Dewhurst did well, didn't he?
Dewhurst did well, but Sylvester just managed to win the race to the ball. I think he got his foot on the ball that then ricocheted off Dewhurst, which ultimately
sort him out there.
led to the decision of Egan seconds to give the 22 dropout. Scotland putting the ball dead in goal.
Let's go.
But it was a brilliant kick through from Cammy Hutchison, who actually started the attack with a really strong carry through the midfield. He identified the space in behind, executed the kick, and Dewhurst just millimetres away from a score.
Yeah, Michael Sylvester restored to the action. Scotland looking to attack once again. There's an offside in midfield, but Graham goes through the middle. Now Graham, he's got Chapman in support. Graham, all the way. Can Graham go over the line? He can. That's the fourth try for Scotland. An individual pearler from that man there, Guy Graham. And delight amongst the Scotland players.
And no doubt there's delight. Guy Graham, he's come off the bench for Martin Hughes, and look at that ball on a Jaffe. The tight angle by Graham. He's got Chapman, comes and gives him an option on his right hand side. But Graham fights through the tackle of Hugh O'Sullivan initially, and then Michael Sylvester. Look at him, tucks it under the left hand. Looks as if he's going to give it back into two hands with Chapman in support. As it is, fights his way over and dots down right next to the post. A key score for Scotland at the start of this second half.
Well, Rory, we're talking about at half-time, weren't we, off air, how important the first score for either team was going to be in the second half. That score has gone to Scotland, their fourth try converted by Chapman. And Scotland extend the lead by 31 points to 17.
And Ireland looking to freshen up the legs. Two replacements, Dan Sheehan and Brian O'Connor, coming on. They understand that they've got such an important 30 minutes coming in this half. Scotland only retaining 5 players coming into this match. They've got slightly fresher legs than Ireland, you'd say, because it is such a challenging tournament.
Sykes is bundled to the deck. Well, everyone knows across the globe how Irish rugby will fight for every inch, for every breed of grass to get back into this game as Robbie Smith tries to slow down the ball for Ireland. Oh, the mistake by Harry Byrne, but it has gone backwards. The ball's nicked by Sykes at the base, but it's ended up in Irish hands. Hume takes the ball on. O'Sullivan.
Use it now.
That's his halfback Byrne, who feeds a long pass out to Dalton. Dalton, that's the halfway line. Over he goes. Wasn't held in the tackle. Byrne goes once again. Then Levy. And Levy hit with a big tackle from Rory Darge. Advantage now being played. Scotland this time offside, and Scotland just forcing it.
Number 8.
And Ireland, well, no doubt they'll go for position here.
Devante Onajaffe just being caught offside in the midfield. Harry Byrne's just gone down. I think looks like he's maybe cramping. He's obviously a key man for a kick at goal or for the corner. He's incredibly important. Showed up again in that play. One big carry, one beautiful pass off his right hand.
Okay, let's go then.
The coaches and his teammates will be very keen to see him back on his feet.
Don't have to wait for him. Oh, he's your kicker, sorry.
I was just about to say, Hugh Sullivan better be careful because he was kicking the ball on the ground.
Simple line.
But Harry Byrne is...
Number 3,
partner finds a good touch.
Substitution.
was Harry Byrne there taking the kick, and he hopped out the back of it. He still doesn't look too comfortable. Obviously, rushed to his feet to take that penalty kick, but he's hobbling a bit. I think he's struggling with cramp, which is, it is inevitable when you go through the amount of work that these guys go through in this tournament. Relatively short turnarounds, a lot of rugby at high intensity in warm weather as well.
Well, front row changes for Scotland then. Finlay Scott and Rostam Bar on the pitch for Sam Grahamslaw and Robbie Smith. Scrappy by Ireland at the base, but here's their captain, Caelan Doris. Ireland leading with real intent now. O'Sullivan. Show and goal there by Matthew Agnew, the Ballymena man from Ulster. Loose pass there, has just gone a begging on the outside.
And the Scottish defence lifted by that. You touched on it, Caelan Doris, the importance of their talisman within the side. Not only the captain, he was their top carrier in the tournament, coming into this game with 50 carries, 12 defenders beaten, 10 offloads. He's such a dangerous man, and he managed to get up the channel of Callum McClelland to fly half of Scotland there. Stafford McDowell was in to help him out and bring him to ground, and that took the real punch out of the Irish attack.
So Finlay Scott for Scotland, 2 starts against Argentina and Italy. There he is, the man from Jedburgh, down in the Scottish borders. Birthplace of Scotland scrum half, Greg Laidlaw. This is Chapman. Again, plenty of height on that kick. His box kicks have been good, but that's a tremendous take by James Hume down that right wing. Now Ireland have got men over here. Tommy O'Brien, he has got real pace. Logan Trotter goes after him. Tremendous tackle by Logan Trotter on his opposite number, O'Brien. And Ireland, brick wall stuff as Sheehan takes the ball up into the heart of the Scotland defence. Little dink kick, that's excellent there to Hume on the far side. Hume up and over the 22 he goes, he's brought down. Offload is good onto Byrne. Harry Byrne knocked the ball on, so advantage with Scotland, and Ireland had an opportunity there. Real attacking attempt from Ireland. They've showed their class throughout this match, but Chapman steadying the ship for Scotland. Kicks once again. Ricochet perhaps off the fingertips of an Irish player.
This game's starting to open up now as the legs get slightly heavier and more tired. Look at this for a kick pass by Harry Byrne. On the money on that right wing. James Hume did well to beat McClelland initially. Rowe managed to get him to ground, and it was just a slight fumble by the same man who kicked across Harry Byrne that gave Scotland the possession back.
Oh, Dan Sheehan's put one over the top. It's picked up by Finlay Scott. Hutchison to Trotter. Well, there was an opportunity to release, but Trotter's gone himself. Trotter goes round the outside. Tremendous tackle by Tommy O'Brien as Trotter went in there. Tommy O'Brien got the ball back, but it was stolen by Stafford McDowell, the Scotland captain, and Scotland once again on the charge. They're really turning the screw on this Irish defence. McClelland, midfield taped by Hodgson in the second row. McClelland, oh, he just showed the ball. Beautiful little pass here, and the offload is good. Rose in for a try, and Scotland are cutting the Irish defence to pieces. Sheer delight from Scotland, great accuracy, and the try scored by Carl Rowe.
And they go coast to coast. It was this man, Logan Trotter, on his right wing, popping up in the midfield, identifying the opportunity, fighting beyond the tackle. Initial to be able to get past Tommy O'Brien. Look at that for a hold-up ball by McClelland. On the shoulder, Murphy Walker, big impact off the bench. And it's Kyle Rowe who takes the pass. Look at that line. Walker, fend, offload. Try time for Rowe under the sticks. His hand goes in the air. He understands that stretches the lead, thumps the ball into the turf, and further stretches Scotland's lead.
Well, impressive stuff, my Scotland. 5 tries to the good, 5 conversions to the good, to the single penalty by that man there, Charlie Chapman, pushes Scotland out to a 38 points to 17 lead.
Number 4.
And haven't they reacted well? When you think about the position they were in after 15 or 20 minutes, they were error-strewn. They were struggling to be able to get any momentum against a pressurising Irish defence. But they've grown into this game. The confidence has been built throughout the game, and they've executed brilliantly, and they have played a lot of rugby. Ireland must now react. They've rung the changes.
So Scotland have taken the ball there.
No, the ball's not out.
From the kickoff. Charlie Chapman, who's impressed throughout this game. Ona Jaffe penalised.
You're playing the ball from the offside position, number 8.
There you go. Egan Seconds playing the ball from the offside position. Devante Ona Jaffe. He was beyond the ball, both feet beyond the ball. He therefore cannot pick the ball from behind him there. And unless he is the last man, he can't pick and go through the middle. Clear penalty. One that will frustrate Brian Redpath.
Green, let's go.
Well, there's still life in this game yet. Oh, another overthrow, and it was the overthrow earlier that led to the try, and Graham comes away with the ball. Apologies for any bad language over the microphones as McClellan, well, he's put that one straight out. So 2 mistakes, one from Ireland, the next one from McClellan of Scotland gives possession right back under pressure into Scotland's territory.
And it's been the Achilles heel of Ireland today. You're just looking at the line-out stats here, I think they've had 9 line-outs, 4 of which have been overthrown. And if you think about the positions that they've happened in, they've all been within 25 to 30 metres of the Scottish line. Scotland have turned it over and made good metres out of it. That time there, a sclaffed kick gives Ireland another opportunity here, but they'll be very keen for Dan Sheehan to hit his man in this line-out.
So Jack Daly on for Matthew Agnew. This time, Sheehan finds his man, goes into the drive, and up then comes Daly to join this driving maul. Also in there is Charles Ryan. So Ireland, Dean sitting in the pivotal fly-half position. Conor Dean just waiting for his big charges to take the ball on. Charles Ryan, this 19-year-old from Leinster. Now Dean, he held up the ball well. Good tackle comes in the midfield for Scotland. Another penalty, so the quick tap and go. Scotland now under a little bit of pressure here. Can Ireland turn the pressure into points themselves? There's men over that can move it wide. The challenge by Jack Dunn in the second row for Ireland. Then head down, plenty steam from Bryn O'Connor. O'Connor looks as though he's over the line, but he's held up. Tremendous defence from the Scotland team.
Good defence. I'm surprised that Egan Seconds didn't go back for the penalty. Ultimately, I suppose it was a try-scoring opportunity.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
For the substitute, Brian O'Connor coming off the bench. You look at the fight to Richardson, he manages to latch onto the ball, gets underneath it, does very well to hold him up with the help of a couple of his teammates. Sykes, who has been immense today for the Scotland under-20 side. And I think it was Darge in there as well. But Ireland, as the clock ticks away, still 20 minutes to go. They're very much in this game.
There's a huge amount of time left in this, and
okay, boys, let's go.
The battling spirit of the Irish coming to the fore. Scotland, 5 tries to their names this afternoon.
Okay, you gotta. Yeah, he's just
Ireland
perfect.
have got 2 themselves. So Ireland with the put in through Hugh O'Sullivan at the scrum. Guy Graham looks on, as does Devante Ona Jaffe at number 8 for Scotland.
One of the danger men, Michael Sylvester for Ireland in the 15 jersey, standing straight behind the scrum.
Okay, both sides. Okay, that shoulder's going in again. I need it completely out. Yes, yes. Set up with more of a gap. You set up, there we go.
It's a really tricky defensive area in and around here. Charlie Chapman in the number 9 jersey for Scotland will have to hold blindside on the chance that Michael Sylvester comes that way. That could open up an opportunity for Ireland, who have got powerful midfield runners to get into the channel of Callum McClellan, the Scottish fly half.
Set!
O'Sullivan with the put-in. He's going to go blind. Sylvester does, and the overlap's been created down that far side, and Tommy O'Brien has found a chink in the Scottish defence and gone into the corner to pull one back for Ireland. The game is still very much on.
It really is, Scott. Good first phase attack, Tommy O'Brien. But look at the man in behind there, Sylvester. Manages to get away from Chapman. Pulls in Trotter on that right wing. As a result, Trotter has to bite in. He doesn't trust Chapman on his inside defence to get there. Sylvester holds it up. There's the ball.
Number 9, green.
Flat ball to Tommy O'Brien, dives in the corner. But Scott, you say this does bring them right back into the... This is an important kick for Conor Dean.
Gets them within 2 scores. Conor Dean, 15 points already in the tournament, as you saw from that graphic there. He was out with George last year, but...
Sorry, I got the TMO call in time there. Sorry.
Well, listen in here with...
Sorry.
Let's just listen to Egan Seconds, the referee.
Okay, Philippe, I'm coming up to you. Can you tell me what we're looking at?
Yes, dangerous tackle on the try by 8, blue.
Okay. Just checking.
It's a really difficult one. He has gone high. We've seen a couple given for penalties. We've seen a no-arms tackle.
Number 8 with the right arm.
Okay.
Touch the head.
It is difficult, Scott. Tommy O'Brien's diving for the corner there. But Devante Onajaffe cannot hit above the shoulder level like that. It's above the neck with a bit of force. I'd be surprised if he gets away with anything less than yellow.
So that's an act of foul play in the act of scoring the try.
Yes.
So is that a yellow card?
Yes, for me.
So you think it's a yellow card? Okay, Philippe, I'm going to tell you what I see. In the act of scoring, the player was going down and the blue player was almost on his knee. For me, that would have been a penalty only. Yeah. And then the try has already been scored, so the advantage is over. So I'm going to go with a kick and just talk to number 8.
That's fine. And now kick off stuff.
Yeah. Just.
So he did indicate that he was going to give a yellow card against Onajaffe.
It's a big call, Scott.
Just looking at a high tackle.
Philippe Bonheur, the TMO, I think, suggested he recommended a yellow. But Egan Seconds believed that it was in the act of tackling. He said Devante Onajaffe, the Scotland number 8, was on his knees.
So Dean, who'd slotted the conversion, can he do it for a second time for this one to count?
Fair play. Fair play on that, Scotty. Conor Dean standing over that. He's just clipped one straight down the middle and had the referee blow it up and not give it. He has to step up again and do it, but my goodness, didn't he strike that well? It was never in doubt. Straight off the boot, through the middle, brings Ireland back within 2 scores.
You know which side you're going?
So confirmation then. With 17 minutes to go, there's still 2 scores in this Irish team. What will Scotland do to keep their lead? As Dean, Logan Trotter incidentally, just gone down injured. And that's a tremendous clearance kick by the replacement Irish fly half.
He's a slightly different operator to Harry Byrne, isn't he, Conor Dean? he's not as big an attacking threat, but if it comes to Ireland needing field position, needing a man to play the percentages, get his midfielders, Peter Sylvester and Sean O'Brien, into the game, Conor Dean is that man. He's made an immediate impact off the bench.
While they attend to them, can I just have a word, please? Okay, so there's been a lot of stoppages, especially with your player walking all the way to the line out and then going down and then he's injured. We can't have that. We need to speed up the game. If there's a real injury, the medics will deal with it, but we can't walk to the line out and then go down injured.
Well, it's nice and clear for
time is still off.
Stafford McDowell there. And referee Egon Seconds just laying down the law and suggesting that he doesn't want any time wasting for these Scotland players.
Yeah, I think it was Jamie Hodgson, wise beyond his years, understanding that if he got to the line out and was in the way and took a knee, they would pause and get a little bit of a timeout.
Well, here's another high tackle. Chapman feeds Ross Dunbar on the charge. McClellan to the replacement hooker, Finlay Scott. Advantage being played as McClellan comes outside. Dewhurst, but play comes back for the high tackle.
High tackle.
Yeah, and these are the sort of errors and inaccuracies that frustrate coaches. They really do, particularly now, whereby every player in the game understands that if you tackle above the chest height, you're at real risk of conceding a penalty. And that one was Peter Sylvester, came up just an over-the-top wrap. It was timed at the same time, shoulder-arm collision, but the connection was above shoulder height. It's such an easy penalty, and again, gives Scotland field position. You see, just slightly offset. Hutchison manages right-footed step. Sylvester, right swinging arm. Easy penalty for referee Seconds to give.
Scotland. Look how many line-outs Ireland have lost. It's certainly been their Achilles heel today, Rory. And Scotland have picked up a couple at the back, and well, they've scored at least one try off a mistake from the line-out. And we know how strong Scotland's maul is. So Scotland once again, Finlay Richardson. He's already got 2 tries. He's looking for a third as the tackle comes in from Charles Ryan. An advantage being played. McClellan, little dink kick, but no advantage has been played for there.
Number 8, Green.
And Scotland, well,
collapsing.
Will they go for the corners? This maul was collapsed.
And it was Keelan Doris. There he is there. You can see him right in the middle of that. Binding round the waist of Sykes, who has been an absolute titan in the Scottish line-out today. I think he's taken the majority of line-out balls. He's run the line-out incredibly well. He's once again rallying his troops as Scotland get within 5 metres. But it was desperate from Keelan Doris, hoping he would get away with it. But it was clear and simple. A penalty given to Scotland. Another good attacking platform. And once again, they've gone for the 10-man line-out.
Finlay Scott throws to the pod at the front, and once again the man in the middle is Sykes. He's the target man for Scotland. Ireland have done well to sack this one.
No, get out, Green.
Scotland trying to drive this. They're going for the line. They've still got this one alive. Bodies are everywhere in there.
What number is that? Do you have a number there, Steph? Number 8 again.
So Scotland got a free play at this. Advantage being played. Ball at the back through on a Jaffe. He's got meters to go. The other pick and drive. Can Scotland get over the line? 5 tries to the good already. They're going for the 6. Could it be Super 6 for Scotland? On a Jaffe. Ireland throwing bodies at the blue of Scotland. Chapman goes short. They're inches short. Surely, if Scotland take this one, they might have the game as the next play goes in. Hodgson had gone over the top. It's that short, but Ireland staunch in the defence. Scotland goals, Scotland score.
Captain. Number 8. Repeated infringement after I spoke to you. Collapsing.
Devante Onajaffe looks to have taken the plaudits. Let's just confirm, let's just see who it was. He looks to the skies.
Joy for Onajaffe. And at the same time as Scotland's number 8 scores a try, Ireland's number 8 talisman and captain, Keelan Doris, is shown the yellow card for dragging down the maul for the second time in 2 lineouts. There he is, Ireland's captain. They'll be down to 14 men for 10 of the last 11 minutes. And Scotland once again stretch their lead.
Just that extra cushion for Scotland. It's been an entertaining game. 6 tries for Scotland. Who would have guessed that at the start of this game? And this young man, well, he's converted 5 of them. Charlie Chapman, along with a solitary penalty. So can he make it 6 from 6? Clickety-click it is.
100% off the tee. I thought Scotland had a little bit of white line fever in the build-up to this try, but eventually they regrouped. And Onajaffe, such a key ball carrier. You see with the support around him. It was Murphy Walker as one of them off the bench who drove him over the line. And once again, Scotland have that 21-point lead.
Ireland, though, will fight to the bitter end. It looks as though they're going to drop down into that relegation playoff game. Scotland will look to secure the 9th place. Who will it be against? Will it be Georgia? Will it be Japan? That match coming up. But at the moment, there's still 10 minutes of the first semi-final here at the Stade Amel.
Good job.
Giral in Perpignan. So, ball through the hands here. Jack Dunn showing the spirit of Ireland. Little dink kick comes in from this robust centre, Sean O'Brien, and well, Ireland have got some territory there as Paddy Dewhurst picks up the ball, and there's the skipper, Keelan Doris, in the yellow, in the sin bin for that yellow card when Onajaffe went over to score Scotland's 6th.
And I'll check if it has an effect, yeah.
Scott, we've had a cracking game, haven't we? It's difficult to understand why Scotland and Ireland would both be down in this part of the tournament, but you can see at times this afternoon the frustrations around it, the inaccuracies for Ireland in particular. Their discipline has let them down. They have been inaccurate with ball in hand. Scotland have scored more tries in this game than they scored in the 3 pool matches combined. So they've really reacted well and grown through this afternoon.
Quick tap and goal there from Jonathan Stewart, who's coming off the bench for Ireland. Ireland metre short. They're going for the try.
Short! 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 Leave it blue!
They're saying it's short.
Get out, blue!
Ireland were premature in their celebrations.
20, don't kill the ball like that. No.
Stewart will want to go and tap and go. Here he is again, Stewart. Space on the outside, but putting the head down is Peter Sylvester in the centre. Well, here comes a yellow card.
Not rolling away.
So Scotland have got a man in the sin bin. It's a second yellow card of the match. 3rd, in fact. And Ireland driving for the line, showing spirit, showing glimpses of what they can do. Burrowing goes Sylvester, inches short. There's men outside, but going himself and over is Jack Daly. And Jack Daly gets one back for Ireland.
That man there, Kyle Rowe, the man yellow carded, and Ireland capitalises 14 on 14. But there's no lack of fight. Little bit of white line fever there, but good carry by Peter Sylvester. Quick ball. Out the back of it came Johnny Stewart, flat ball to Jack Daly, the back rower off the bench, dives in. Again narrows the lead, another important conversion opportunity for Connor Dean. And 7 minutes to go.
Oh, he's just pushed it wide. 29 points to 45.
So say number one.
What a cracker of a game this is. There's still something in it.
Number one.
And Ireland will fight till the 80th minute and beyond.
It's a big miss by Conor Dean, but clearly just looking to get that conversion over, give his side the best opportunity to stay in this fight. Both coaches starting to empty the benches now.
Yeah, enough is Murphy Walker. That prop forward. It looks as though Finlay Richardson, I think, has gone off, and confirmation there that Jakub Vucevic has come on, and also wearing that number 22 jersey, Ross Thompson, replacing Callum McClellan. As Michael Sylvester takes ball out for Ireland. Another last loud blast from the referee's whistle.
Number 7's got it all.
6 minutes to go in this match. Still time for Ireland to put Scotland under pressure as Dean tries to find territory.
Perfect.
He hasn't found touch. Stafford McDowell, he's got a big left boot in him. As Scotland's captain. Now the counter-attack is on. Dean has Sylvester with plenty of pace. Had options outside him, but Sylvester cut back into Scotland's forward pack. Shown by Dean, and the try scorer, Jack Daly. And Scotland have won the possession.
Big collision in the wide channel. Scotland Trotter coming out with possession.
Murphy Walker.
Leave it green!
Chapman, who's impressed throughout this game, this little scrum half. And alongside me, Rory Lawson, a former captain of Scotland at scrum half. You'll be impressed with that man, Charlie Chapman, for Scotland.
Yeah, he's run the game very, very well. With McClelland at 10, the two halfbacks have found field position that Scotland have really carried forward and used well.
Oh, Sylvester's put a chip kick in now. Gathered there almost by James Hume. Michael Sylvester has pulled his hamstring on the chip and chase. One of the bright lights of this Irish performance. Ireland could have scored down that right-hand flank there as Chapman puts the ball out on the far outside. And sad to see a player go down of the quality of Michael Sylvester, who's shone in the Irish performance today.
Yeah, he really has. He's been one of the real attacking threats. You see, he just manages to beat the first defender, puts the ball onto his right boot,
15.
and just as he stretches,
he's
you see
outside
him
the field already.
grasping his right hamstring.
Okay.
Never something I had to worry about, Scott. I didn't ever have the fast twitch fibres of that, but...
Oh, I did it. It still hurts to this day watching that.
Let's go.
So as confirmation that Tom Roach is off the bench now. Those of you who've been following your seven-a-side rugby, brother Mark has been outstanding for the Ireland Sevens team over the last couple of weeks. Wearing the scrum cap is Charlie Jupp. Wearing the other scrum cap there is Finlay Scott, who took the ball on. Ross Thompson, more of a traditional fly half off the left boot, and this is James Hume then. Hume with the sidestep. Ball taken on by Vucevic. Dean gives himself time and others outside him as O'Brien showed the ball. Got the half gap but was tackled by Hutchison. And this man here, Jack Daly's, he's made a real impact since he's coming off the bench. Dean once again, an overlap created down this left-hand flank as Roach keeps the ball in play. Better by Ireland, fighting until the end. 3 minutes left on the clock. Dean slips the ball out.
Thanks, William.
Good line. Good line by Tom Roach. Good continuity by this Irish team. They're fighting all the way.
Scottish defence just managing to keep shape at the moment.
Yes!
Ireland looking to snipe down that blind side. Two tackles come in though from Rory Darge, holding the Irishman up. Oh, it's been pinched. Scotland get the turnover ball. Chapman at the base as ever. And Scotland's scrum half just clears his lines.
That's a really good defensive set by Scotland. The attacking threats kept coming. Marshall Sykes made a couple of good tackles, but it was Rory Darge on the open side, the 18-year-old, managing to get in on the ball, strip the ball free. And Charlie Chapman gave a reward off the back of that by finding a great touch, and with 2 minutes to go and too many points in it, Scotland leads. The game is surely gone.
Well, Jamie Hodgson, who's coming off the pitch, he's had an outstanding game, as is his second row partner, Marshall Sykes, in the second row for Scotland. And Scotland with 6 turnovers. Caelan Doris returns to the field, having served his suspension for the yellow card. And Scotland on the tap. McDowell way through it to the boots of Hutchison. Hutchison went over the top to Dewhurst. Dewhurst showing his pace, but he's tackled by O'Brien. Scotland then, a minute and a half in the clock. It's going to be a famous victory for them. 45 points to 29. Can they finish it off with one more score? On a jab he goes. Chapman into the corner it goes. He's overcooked that one.
Yeah. You got an option.
He has right idea by Chapman. The
22.
space was there. He just nibbled off a little bit too much off the bone there, but as it is, Scotland are going to win this match and go into the 9th place playoff.
13 points.
Empty the fucking tanks!
Well, apologies for the
13.
language there.
13. Time off.
15 points for
Number 13,
Charlie
blue.
Chapman, as I replace the batteries in my calculator. 6 tries for Scotland. It's been a comprehensive performance. This last man standing, Fraser Strachan, comes in off the bench and replaces Cameron Hutchison, whose delivery of the pass and his defensive duties have served Scotland in the midfield well.
Yeah, he's in an excellent game as well. Scotland understood coming into this game what they needed to do, but it is no small task overcoming this Irish under-20 side. They obviously lost in the Six Nations, but they came in with the belief that if they they played with the field position and if they were accurate throughout, they would come away with a win. For Ireland, what's really let them down is the line-outs. They've had 14 line-outs in total, and they've only won 50% of them. And I think of those 7 that they've lost, almost all of them that I can certainly remember have been overthrows that have immediately given Scotland possession back and given them the opportunity into it. And it's been that small a margin, albeit the lead that Scotland are going to hold until the end of the game has been a big one.
The last play of the game with the ball in James Hume's hand. Hume brings down the end of a frustrating afternoon for Ireland. They will drop down into that relegation playoff place. Scotland, though, can breathe easy. They will go forward to the 9th place final, and it was a commanding and convincing performance at the end of the day. 6 converted tries, 1 penalty to Ireland, who scored 4 tries themselves, 3 conversions and a penalty. Confirmation of the full-time score, 45 points to Ireland's 29. So shakes all right for this Scotland team. Ryan Redpath just talked about a consistency before this game, that they'd had chances against Ireland, they'd had chances against Argentina in pool play, but ultimately the mistakes had cost them dear. Today against Ireland, things clicked into place, and it was a convincing performance all round. Lots of flair, lots of entertainment. But Ireland, well, it'll be frustrating for them, but they're going to have to bounce back on Sunday with the final game and see if they can win that one. They'll play the loser of the next match coming up, and that will be Georgia versus Japan. Let's go sideline to Carl Tanana, who's pitchside.
Well, Stephen, congratulations on the win. I suppose pre-kickoff, anyone said you'd score 45 points against Ireland, you would have taken it, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. We talked about it during the week, we knew we could get them out wide. We got a dangerous back three and we executed, so it was pleasing.
At what stage in the game did you think you're really starting to get momentum over them?
I think that try in the second half off the bust in the 22 really kind of finished them off. The yellow card after that, as we kind of knew we had the momentum in our favour. And it's just about following our structure after that and playing in the right areas.
One area I thought you were really impressive with the support play. Everyone seemed to be there.
Yeah, something we worked on really hard during the week. We thought we left a few tries out there against the other three teams, but not running good support lines, so we worked on it and it paid off.
With a big win like this, how much momentum and confidence do you get in the next one?
Yeah, definitely. This is a pressure game. I think now there's a lot of pressure off us. We can really go out and push on for that last game and get a high finish.
Looking forward to it. Good luck, eh?
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, Stafford McDowell there, a delighted captain, and just an interesting glimpse there from McDowell, just how much Scotland are working their support play. But it's warm applause for this Irish team, and let's go pitch side where Captain Keelan Doris is with Carlton Anna.
Well, Keelan, I know obviously disappointed, but I suppose how hard is it to play a team that knows you so well, such as Scotland?
Yeah, massively. Obviously played them in the Six Nations, played them in a warm-up game, and again today, in the first two, we'd come out on top, but by narrow margins, we knew it was going to be another very close encounter today, and unfortunately for us, they came out on top today.
Seems like the line-out, you had issues there. What was going wrong?
Yeah, I think it was just miscommunication, just missed lifts at times, just inaccuracies, and that gave them entry into the game along with discipline. Our discipline and my discipline wasn't good enough at times, and that allowed them to get territory, and off that they got their maul going and scored tries.
Defensively too, how do you fix up those little holes?
Yeah, I think it comes back to our hold decisions, working hard early, getting into place early, and then it's just the one-on-one tackles as well, just getting our entry right. We're off quite a few.
Keep your head up, Cap. One more to go. Good luck, eh?
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So the words and claps of encouragement around the Scotland bench for Ireland. Well, they live to fight another day as they head into the last day to play against either the loser of Georgia versus Japan. Brian Redpath there with the words to his squad. He must be delighted. Confirmation then of the final score is Scotland 45, Ireland 29. Hope you enjoyed the game.
Proposer quelques images, l'occasion peut-être d'être à Narbonne la semaine dernière sur la dernière journée en tout cas. Allez, vous savez bien ces pastilles vidéo du Paris 7, c'est l'événement qui s'est déroulé au stade Jean-Bouin le week-end dernier, tournoi mixte avec les équipes de France, féminine et masculine bien sûr, vous avez fait les approches tous les deux. Le match de qualité bien sûr avec les meilleures équipes mondiales de rugby à 7, le 7, c'est fou, c'est crazy, c'est rigolo, c'est très coloré. On va retrouver justement dans les tribunes les supporters de tous bords, toujours plus brillants, toujours plus colorés. Regardez.